YouTube, how are you now? We are back on BattleBit Remastered. Been having a lot of fun with the game. It's a lot of fun to play. Casual first-person shooter with up to 254 players on a server. Low poly, but doesn't affect the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty tight. Gunplay is good. A lot of variety in the weapons and all that kind of stuff. So it's actually made me enjoy competitive multiplayer again. The last couple of years, I've just been completely burnt out on multiplayer in general. Call of Duty is tired of the hidden skill-based matchmaking. Battlefield, even though Battlefield doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, it just wasn't in the best state at release almost 2 years ago. It's come a long way since then, but still not really that enjoyable experience. I don't really care for like the vehicle gameplay and that kind of stuff. There's no options, whereas this game you have the options. So 254 player servers have vehicles, 128 player servers have vehicles, but the 64 player servers, 32 versus 32, don't have vehicles. So you have the options how you want to play, and they are planning on doing 16 versus 16 and 8v8 like team deathmatch free-for-all, smaller game types, which I would prefer even more, because even 32 versus 32, the maps are a little big and there's people everywhere, so people tend to camp in every little nook and cranny, every window, every door, sniping every edge of the map, that kind of stuff. So I would prefer a little bit tighter, more infantry focused
Jesus Christ, I don't know how to
gameplay experience, but even 32 versus 32 is enjoyable for me. I would prefer those smaller modes, but it's still enjoyable for me since there's no vehicles and that kind of stuff. So it gives you all the options, which is sorely lacking in even AAA first-person shooter games these days. So hopefully the success of this game and games like it, so like X Defiant is doing a open beta this weekend and it's supposed to be releasing later this summer. And people have been talking pretty highly about that game too, as a alternative to Call of Duty, so the arena type shooter. So hopefully these types of games do well and put these AAA studios on notice to make the games fun again, you know? It's not all about monetization and addiction and engagement, because engagement doesn't necessarily mean enjoyment. If people are just grinding the game because they're addicted to it and spending money because they're addicted to it, but they don't actually enjoy it, that's eventually going to lead to burnout. I think that's what's happening with a lot of these games, because this game is actually doing Call of Duty Warzone numbers on Steam. So obviously Call of Duty is a lot bigger on console than on Steam. Steam is their smallest population, but Warzone is also the Battle Royale, DMZ, and their multiplayer all in one. And this game is just the multiplayer aspect of it, and it's pulling similar numbers to Call of Duty Warzone on Steam. Hopefully this game continues to do well. Hopefully X Defiant is decent as well and does well, so that maybe these AAA studios realize the formula they've been using, although it has been successful in the past, is starting to burn people out and their numbers are starting to dwindle down. So this Battlefield is like 10 times smaller population on Steam than this game. So all the Battlefield 2042 players have come here and are playing this game. I mean, if a AAA studio did a game like this with
incredibly helpful
modern graphics and just modern mechanics, so the mechanics in this game are good, but they're not AAA level, you know. But if a AAA studio did a game like this with better graphics and all that kind of stuff, polished experience, it would sell like hotcakes. Because I'm sure a lot of people are turned off by the low poly Roblox style of this game. Like initially I didn't think I would like this game because of the graphics, but honestly it doesn't really hurt it. Like the gameplay matters more, so I would rather have a game that looks like this and plays well and is fun and enjoyable than a game that looks really good but is miserable to play, and I don't want to play like Call of Duty. So I haven't touched Call of Duty since the very beginning of Season 2, and I probably won't even go back unless they start making major changes. So if they don't dial back their strict hidden skill matching and all that kind of stuff, there's no way I'll be going back to Call of Duty. Especially when there's games like this out that are actually fun to play. So. Hopefully this means change is coming. This game is doing really well, like I said, and only seems to keep growing, so hopefully it puts a fire under those AAA studios to do better, start innovating again, start focusing on gameplay, on fun, on enjoyment, and not just monetization. You could monetize this game quite easily as well, so there's tons of opportunities to make money off this game as far as skins and weapons and all that kind of stuff, because the grind of this game is pretty gnarly. One of the main issues that I have with it, the unlocks are locked behind really high levels, and it takes quite a bit of time to get there, so there's opportunity to monetize that in the weapons. You could unlock weapons by buying them in like a store or whatever, with certain attachments that are good that also take time and grinding to unlock. Different skins on the guns. There's so many guns to choose from, so you could sell all the guns in bundles, a bunch of skins, and all that kind of stuff and make a ton of money because there's so many to choose from, and it would relieve the grind, so it's not going to hurt as far as people feeling like it's pay to win. Sure, you'll get the unlocks faster, but you can also unlock them just by playing the game as well. So if you want to pay a little bit of money to get a gun that you really want earlier, that's not a problem. Like, I would actually buy some guns, like the Vector and other guns like that I want to try out, that I don't want to have to level up to level 100 plus to get to. So there's definitely opportunity there. People are willing to spend money if they enjoy the game. I would spend money if I enjoy the game, but if I don't enjoy the game, there's no way I'm going to keep spending money. But if I'm playing it constantly, having fun, then I will spend the money. So, been having a ton of fun with it. Hopefully it keeps going the way it's going. Hopefully they keep adding and improving so that it stays in the top like it is, because it's been in the top 10 on Steam charts already, and it's only been out for a little over the weekend, so it's been growing and growing. So hopefully it keeps going the way that it's going, continues the success, and actually inspires change in other games as well. So. Yeah, just been running the MP7 basically since I finished leveling up the M4. I've unlocked some other guns and have tried them, but I'm not really a fan. So like the Honey Badger, I'm not really a fan of the Honey Badger, which is unfortunate. This shoots a little faster than the M4, but has the same shots to kill. So it's 4 shots to kill, fires at 800 rounds per minute, whereas the M4 fires at 700, but it only has a 24 round magazine, which is kind of limited, and it also has a bit more side-to-side recoil, so that 24 round mag is noticeably not as useful because you're going to miss more shots because the recoil is pretty hard for that. And even with extended mags, it only goes up to 28 rounds. Fully kitted out, it would be still less than a base M4 as far as kill potential goes. So I played around with it a little bit, but I didn't really care for it, which is unfortunate. And then like the AK-15, that gun hits really hard, but it also recoils like a monster. So it's 3 shots to kill, but as hard as it recoils, I don't think it's really worth it. MP7 is really easy to control the recoil, even at medium range. So I've just been running that basically. I'll try out the other guns as I unlock them, like the Groza and the Scar Age and that kind of stuff, which are upcoming. But if I don't like them, I'll just be sticking to the MP7 until I get the Vector. That's what I'm working for, is the Vector, but it's level 70, so still got a ways to go on that. been a lot of fun. Hopefully they can improve on the unlock system, make it a little bit faster. Unless they intend to monetize that as well, like I said earlier. So they could easily monetize that and make some of the higher level guns in bundles, paid bundles and that kind of stuff. And people like EA, Activision, those kind of people who do Call of Duty and Battlefield could easily monetize this style of game as well, so. Hopefully they copy its success and not continue doing what they've been doing, because that's been burning me out on multiplayer. I've just been mostly playing single player games until this game came out, so. When I was primarily just a multiplayer guy until I got tired of Call of Duty and Battlefield. Even if they don't though, glad they got games like this out and games like X-Defiant that are going against the grain and listening to what players want, as opposed to just focusing on trying to milk them for all the money that they can, you know? So you gotta monetize, that's understandable, it's a business. You're in it to make money, but at the same time, if that's all you care about, that becomes obvious, and people get sick of it eventually, so. If the game is good, people don't mind spending money, but if the game is just there to monetize, you can tell it's just a shell of what it should be, just because they're trying to make some money out of it. They're just trying to milk it for as much money as possible with as little effort, as little investment as possible. Then people start to see that and they don't like that, so at least I feel that way. I'm not just a wallet, you know. My experience, my enjoyment matters more, and then the money follows, but if that's not there, then I'm not going to spend money on it. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you've been enjoying this game. If you haven't checked it out, definitely worth it. It's only $15 on Steam, so a lot of fun. When AAA version of this game would be $60, $70 with less features, less content, more bugs, all kinds of stuff going on in the background trying to manipulate the experience, so hidden skill-based matchmaking, all that kind of stuff, player handicaps. People don't like that, you know? People don't like feeling cheated of kills, of wins, or anything like that, so. At least me. I would prefer my own actions determine my outcome, you know? If I play poorly, then I expect to do poorly, but if I play well, I expect to do well, you know? I don't expect to play poorly, or expect to do poorly just because the game felt like I was doing too well and need to be put in check. Or if I do well, I don't want it to be because the game felt like I was doing poorly. I just felt like it needed to give me a good game to boost my ego, to keep me engaged, to keep me playing in the hopes of me spending money, you know. Nobody likes having their experience manipulated like that, so especially when it's so obvious as it is now with AAA games. I just want an authentic, organic, real experience where my actions matter and how I play determines how well I do, you know, so. That's all I want. That's all the people want, really. But those AAA studios all think they know better, so. What can you do? The only way it'll change is if the money goes elsewhere, so hopefully that's what's happening. Hopefully that shift is happening. People are spending where they actually enjoy the games. So. That monetization system works on casual players, but eventually you can't have endless supply of casual players forever, you know. Eventually those casual players start playing enough, start getting better at the game, that they start noticing the downsides of those systems as well. They start feeling like they're getting cheated. Instead of the game cheating for them and making their experience better, it starts cheating them and making their experience worse. So once the casual majority starts hitting that point, then that whole system just completely falls apart. So unless there's an endless supply of casual players, new casual players constantly coming in, eventually that system's gonna fall apart and not work anymore. So hopefully that's what's happening. Hopefully that means it's time for a change. End of the old era, bring in the new era of fun again, enjoyment, you know? But yeah.
What? Fuck you.
Even if that's not the case, I'll just keep playing games like this, games that I enjoy. Hopefully they keep making games like this, even if it's not AAA studios. Hopefully other studios, small or big, start leaning more into this type of game. Just casual, fun, sandbox options. Give the players the choice how they want to play, you know? Don't pigeonhole them into one way of play and one way of play only, thinking you know better than the players themselves. So the devs don't know best. Players want choice, players want options. Yeah, guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.